Now we apply what we learned in section 12.3 in our next section. 12.4 is multiplying polynomials. I would also recommend there are some opportunities to use algebra tiles. So if you have those handy or want to go get those, this would be a good time to pause your video. We are starting on page 576 with example 1. If you need to pause and go grab algebra tiles or some colors so you can make algebra tiles, this is a good opportunity to do that. Couple pieces of vocabulary here. The first one is monomial. As we talked about our intro to polynomials, polynomials are terms or products that are added or subtracted to show one long expression. A monomial is a polynomial with only one term. This means that when you see an expression that does not have terms added together, so no addition or subtraction, but all multiplication, it is a monomial. So some examples of monomials, this could be something like 5xy squared. That's a lot going on there, but it's all multiplied together. And so it's still only one term. That's a monomial. Another example would be something like 4a to the third. Could be any variable as long as it's multiplied. Remember that exponents are just long multiplication. Could be a constant. It could be just a variable. All of those are examples of monomials. There are 4 different examples there. And so our first example is multiplying monomials together. Like 4a to the third, there's our first monomial, look up here, there it is, times negative 5a to the second. This may seem a little familiar. It's very similar to what we did in the last section with scientific notation. We're going to take these and we're going to rearrange so that things that are alike are near one another. For instance, our coefficients here, we're going to rewrite so that these coefficients are near one another. Every factor here is multiplied together, and so we can rearrange our order. We also have similar bases, a to the third and a to the second. And now we're going to look for what can I multiply together and simplify. Well, I can multiply these coefficients. 4 times negative 5. Remember, a positive times a negative is a negative. And I can simplify a to the third times a to the second because it has the same base. When it's the same base, I add the exponents. So this is 3 plus 2, a to the 5th power. This is my simplified version. This is a good opportunity to try quick check 1. Keep in mind what we talked about with scientific notation. If a variable does not have an exponent, you can put a placeholder as an exponent of 1. Pause your video and try that. Alrighty, when we multiply, our quick check is 2y to the third times a to the 5th. Nope, I'm sorry. 2y to the third, I mixed up 2 problems there, times 4y. I can rearrange 2 times 4, the coefficients I can multiply together. And then y to the third times y, this is where that comes in handy. Y is the same as y to the first. 2 times 4 is 8. And then I add 3 plus 1 is y to the 4th. Short and sweet as we get into our second section in our notes. This is where we're going to use our algebra tiles.